Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the hidden traps that keep you average, okay? See, most people aren't lazy and they're not unmotivated. They're just trapped by their identity, their habits, and a silent enemy inside their minds. Today I'm going to expose the number one reason why you're still stuck and exactly how to break free. If you've ever felt like you were meant for something more, but something's holding you back, then this episode is for you. Because the biggest thing stopping most men today isn't laziness, it's identity. You don't need another motivational quote. You need to reprogram your brain to stop playing small. All right, let's get into it. Check this out. I'm Dr. Eric Thomas. I mean, that's it. That's it, 100% all the way. This is what I do all the time with everybody I work with, my clients. You know, the number one thing is getting clear and focused about what you truly want in life. And then you build a strategy to go after it and get it. But here's the thing. Strategy alone, was like we covered in the last episode, will not do it, okay? If you don't work on your identity, you don't work on the way you see yourself, you don't work on the software that's running up here, okay? Not just a strategy on how to get it, but also changing the way you see yourself, changing what that internal thermostat is. Like, you know, how much heat can you take? Like the old saying, if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen, right? And so the biggest thing is that, what do you get comfortable with? How much are you comfortable taking stress-wise? How much risk? How much uncertainty, okay? It's a big thing for entrepreneurship. But, you know, this is a big thing, what Eric's talking about. I'm telling you what, that's very, very powerful. That's why he's so good at what he does, okay? Very authentic, very on point. And I think the thing is this, if you don't know what you want, then anything you get will do, okay? If you don't know where you want to go, you don't know where you want to go, anywhere will do. That's the magic of it, okay? One time, I remember speaking with one of my good friends, a teaching partner of mine from before, and we were teaching strategy and talking about, you know, warfare strategy and operational strategy, all these things. The first question he always would say, this is Dr. Brad Weinman, all right? He would always say, what do you want? What's the end state? What do you want to achieve? In warfare, it's the same thing, okay? So in the military, it's my background, right? In strategy, what is the objective of the campaign? What are we trying to achieve? If we can't get clear about that, and then, you know, what we want to get out of it, then why are we going to do it? We got to have our political objectives outlined, okay? Same thing with business. What do you want? Same thing in life. What do you want? How much money do you want to make? What kind of car do you want to drive? Where do you want to live? What do you want your relationship to be like? What do you want your marriage to be like? All these things he's talking about are so, so important. One of the things I talk to my clients about all the time, and I think it'll really help you, this helped me personally, is how much meaning and fulfillment can I achieve in my life from these things that I'm going after, okay? What will bring the most meaning and fulfillment into my life, and let that drive what you decide to go after, okay? Because at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about, and service to others as well too, trying to serve other people and provide our highest and best amount of value we can to, you know, to the world, okay? To our family, to our friends, to our community, to our city, and, you know, ultimately the best version of ourselves to provide to the world, all right? This gets me really fired up, though. I think this is a great, great clip. First of all, you got to know what you want. What do you want? Number one. All right, let's check out this next clip. Another one from Dr. Eric Thomas. Another really motivational talk he's given. It's really centered on, you know, what is your self-worth? How do you see yourself? What are your limiting beliefs? What is your past thinking that may hold you back today? Okay? Because what got you here won't get you there. All right, let's check it out.
You have enough information right now that if you never got any more information, you have enough to make everything you wrote down become right. Here's the challenge, though. The challenge is not what you know. It is not what you've learned today. The challenge is what you knew before today. I'm going to say it slower because it's the simplest thing I'm ever going to say. What you already know is why you're where you are. And if you're going to get to the next level, you're going to have to erase everything you knew about what you knew, what you thought you knew. I'm gonna say it again because I see some people like, whoa, Eric, I'm trying to catch that. It is the stinking thinking that got you where you are right now. It is the limited beliefs that have you where you are right now. You have a limited belief. I remember that I thought I could never do this. I'll never forget talking to Les Brown and Bob Proctor. Les Brown was like, yo, you the #1 motivational speaker in the world. I wasn't even a number at that time. He said, you ain't even charging. Boy, you know how much money you should be charging? Bob Proctor said, how much you charge? I was like, about 5-10 grand. He was like, what? Bob Proctor said, what? I was like, 5-10 grand. It was right here in Phoenix when you spoke together. He said, don't you ever do that again. No less than 20,000. I went back and told my secretary, I was like, look, man, I talked to Bob Proctor. He said, no less than. I had to fire her from that position.
All right, so you can see that. I mean, right there, it's manifesting itself, and his self-belief in who he is. And what he talked about earlier, that, earlier in the talk, was that because of where he came from, the poverty he came from, how he grew up, the color of his skin, all these things, he believed he wasn't worthy of speaking to all these different diverse audiences on such a big stage, that he would be worth more than $5,000 a talk. Now, $5,000 a talk, per speech isn't bad, right? But the level of speaker he is, and what Bob Proctor and Les Brown were telling him, is that you're probably #1 in the world for motivation. So therefore, you should not be charging any less than $20,000. But Eric couldn't wrap his head around it. And so he just pushed the I believe button and he did it. And he had his secretary do it, right? But then she didn't believe. And so she wouldn't sell it right. And so he had to have another guy say it that really believed that he was worth more than $20,000 per talk. And the rest is history. Now, Eric, is probably arguably one of the most, if not the most motivating speaker, right? There are a lot of others we can name as well out there too. And everyone's preference is different, but he definitely brings the fire for sure. But again, self-belief, limiting beliefs, your identity, the way you see yourself, what you've learned in the past about who you are, it will hold you back, or it'll propel you to do great things and greatness, okay? But you got to push through the edge of your comfort zone every time.
To give her another position.
All right, let's keep going.
Because she couldn't say 20,000 when people called. I'm being real. She couldn't say it. She when she said it, she didn't say it like she believed it. And so people would be like, nope, bring it all the way down. And then CJ was like, let me say it, because I've been with him. I see him at the schools. I see him at the prisons. I see him at Michigan State doing program for kids every week when they don't even want him doing it. Let me tell him, 20,000. And if you don't, CJ would say 20,000. If you call me tomorrow, it's going to be 25. No, you're not hearing what I'm saying.
That's some real self-belief, right? Believing that you're worth it.
Like Bob Proctor. He was like, how you doing, Eric? I'm like, great. How is it going with the finals? Like, man, it's great. I'm doing 20 now. He was like, I said, you told me 20. He said, I never told you 20. I said, no less than 20. But your limited beliefs heard. Your limited beliefs heard you say. I didn't say that. That's what your past told you.
All right, damn. Your limiting beliefs told you that. I never said that. Your limiting beliefs is what you heard. You heard, and he goes on to say, that's what you only having a GED told you. That's what you only coming from a poor neighborhood told you, that you're only worth this, okay? So again, what the #1 thing I was going to tell you, the way to make sure that you stay unstuck, you don't stay average, you don't stay mediocre, the #1 thing is self-belief, confidence, okay? And we're going to talk about that in future episodes as well too. But right now, the biggest thing is, confidence comes from gaining skills and doing hard things and staying on problems a long time and building yourself up, okay? But first of all, you got to believe, A, you can do it. B, it's out there. C, it's worth it, okay? That you can be, do, and have and become the thing that you want to be, do, and have and become, okay? You don't have the things you want to have. You can become the thing you want to become, all those things like that. But you got to believe, have faith and total self-belief, or the power of belief. You believe in yourself, you believe it's out there, you believe you can do it, and you believe it will all be worth it, okay? You're going to put the time and effort into it to make it happen and to win. This is so, so important, all right? That's power of self-belief. And again, if you don't believe, they won't believe. If you don't believe in yourself, who else is going to believe in you, all right? And so as soon as you don't believe you're worthy, it comes out in the way you carry yourself. Your self-belief your energy, your eye contact, your posture. It'll come out in everything though, okay? It matters. The words you use to yourself matter. The way you speak to yourself matters. The way you see yourself matters. Your identity, your belief, the story you tell about yourself, okay? And so how do we change our identity? First of all, it starts with the having a growth mindset, okay? And believing you can achieve more, do more, have more, be more, learn more. You can grow. If you can't do it now, you'll be able to do it in the future. You can learn how to do it, okay? Because the number one differentiator between all people is desire, motivation, hunger. All the same things, okay? You got to be hungry. You got to want it, okay? And you got to want to win. All right, let's check out this next clip. Another great one right along lines here, all right, by Les Brown. Here we go.
For those of you that have experienced some hardships, don't give up on your dream. No one could have convinced me by holding on, by continuing to push forward, by continuing to run toward my dream, that one day I would have my own talk show. It's a long shot, ladies and gentlemen, from Liberty City, an abandoned building on a floor, never knowing my mother or father. It's a long shot. Being here with you today in this dome in Atlanta, it's a long shot. No college training, labeled educable, mentally retarded, but I kept running toward my dream. Don't stop. Don't stop.
You know, I think it's so important because honestly, inspiration plus perspiration leads to a lot of great things. I just got done hearing something today, even from Joe Rogan, who said he used to listen to Tony Robbins tapes all the time and read his books when he was in a small apartment in Boston, just getting started out as a comedian, before all his UFC things and all stuff like that he had, Fear Factor. And then, you know, Les Brown talking about all the motivational people he's listened to, all the tapes and books, all things like that. What you put into your head matters. That's why I created this channel, you know. I really think it makes a big difference. So let's hear his story. But you see, he came from nothing and really raised himself up at a time when it was probably difficult, very difficult for him as well.
Don't stop running toward your dream. It's very important. As you hold on to that dream, there are moments when you're going to doubt yourself. There are rough times that are going to come, but they have not come to stay. They have come to pass. It's very important for you to know that. Don't say I'm having a bad day. Say I'm having a character building day.
I love that. And can you last? That's a big question. Can you last through the hard times? Yes, you can. If you believe you can, you can. Find a way. Get resourceful.
That you are the one to make this happen. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to be easy. It was hard laying on the floor of the Penobscot building, looking out of the window, daydreaming, saying, Les, can you do this? Can you make this happen? I used to listen to tapes day in and day out about See You at the Top, my great friend Zig, and Dennis Waitley and different other motivational speakers, and Dr. Norman Vincent Peale and Dexter saying, don't let nobody steal your dream. I used to ask myself, can I do this? And something said within me,
I think everybody asks themselves that.
You're the one. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. While you're here, and before you go back home to your respective cities and communities, write down at least 5 reasons on why you deserve your dream, on why you won't give up, what's going to make you unstoppable, why you must be unreasonable, because logical, practical thinking says you can't do it today. But if you want to produce
That's right.
unreasonable results in your life, like living your dream and taking charge of your destiny, you've got to be an unreasonable person. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. What will reasons do, Les? Nietzsche said, if you know the why for doing, you can endure almost anyhow. What do you mean by that? If you know why you're doing
And
something.
remember that reasons come first, answers come second, right? And he's just saying that Nietzsche said that when you know the why behind something, you can endure almost any how, okay? When you have a big enough reason, you'll find a way, you'll figure it out, okay? When you have a burning desire and you're hungry, as he'll talk about later, you can find the way to do it and endure any how, any strategy to get you there. Let's go.
When the disappointments and the rejections come, and they're going to come by the truckloads, your reasons will be your rod and staff to comfort you, to pick you up. Once again, I got a saying on one of my tapes: if life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. Let your reasons get you back up. Feel within yourself some way, somehow, with the help of God, I'm going to make it happen. Repeat after me, please. No matter how bad it is, or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. Shake somebody's hand on your right and left and say, you got the right stuff.
I'll tell you what, that's a good little mantra to say right there. No matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. It's something to think about. If you don't have a mantra for yourself or some power phrases, this might be a good thing to put into your toolkit, that you say to yourself sometimes when things are really getting bad. I think anyone that's achieved anything significant, I know I've faced my own times where I've had to wake up in the morning, get up and look myself in the mirror and say, let's go. It's time to go. Talk to myself like a Marine, like, you're a badass, man. Let's go. You've got this. It's time to man up, warrior. Let's go. Get it done. So no matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I will succeed. I can do this.
So yes, it's possible for you to live your dream. It's necessary that you associate with winners, that you work your system, that you are relentless, that you never give up. It's you. You've got to take personal responsibility. You've got to make it your personal business to make it happen. And you've got to resolve within yourself that I can do this, that it's hard, but you've got to say, I'm the one. I'm the one to make this happen. I'm the one to become successful in this business. As you work to help other people to become successful, that feeds your success. But it's going to be hard.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's within your own head. This all starts with your thoughts and your beliefs. Remember, I told you in the first episode that, belief in the idea that you change your thoughts, you change your life. You change your beliefs, you change your thoughts, you change your life. And it's not easy because old thinking comes in, fears come in, doubts come in. You lose confidence. All those things happen that derail us and they get us off track as we're trying to build this confidence and this new identity, this belief in ourselves that we can do it. Like we talked about earlier with Dr. Eric Thomas, we talked about, Eric Thomas's video, having the self-worth and belief in yourself enough that you can ask for that $20,000 speaking fee, right? Or you can ask for what you're worth at your work, whatever it may be, whatever your job is, your business is, right? But your self-worth and all these things attack us, the fears and doubts and all that stuff like that. So you got to really be strong in those moments to get through the hard times and simply get a small win. I remember one coach I coached with once, he said he was in the hardest football game of his life. They were coaching and really they'd never been stopped like this before. And he said, second half, they came out, they were losing. Usually they're never losing at halftime. And he said, we just need to get our first down. Get one first down. And then another one, Keep it small. How do you eat the elephant? One bite at a time. Break it down to small tactical tasks and just get one small victory. Build success momentum. Your confidence will soar. You'll have confidence and you'll start doing more. You'll get momentum, okay? And that confidence lets you do more, lets you learn more. And you stop having the fear thinking, all those things like that. All right, let's keep going. This guy is going to make me go nuts and run through the wall.
But find out what will make it worth
I'm the one.
For you.
Amen.
You got to be hungry.
Hunger's everything. Desire. That's the separator of people right there. How much do you want?
You got to be hungry.
The hungriest people, the ones with the most desire, win the most.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to make your dream become reality, the people that are running at their dreams know that it's possible that you can live your dream, that it's necessary, that you're relentless, that you have a plan of action, that you are creative. The people that are living their dream are finding winners to attach themselves to. The people that are living their dreams are the people that know that if it's going to happen, it's up to them. And they're resolving within themselves, it's not over until I win.
Woo, hell yeah. Oh man, that's some good stuff right there. It's not over until I win. I love that. You know, I think it's so powerful hearing Les Brown talk about these things and his story, the way he presents it. But it's so true, you know, and I hope you got a lot out of this like I did. You know, remember, it all starts within your own thoughts and your beliefs. And this one thing that separates mediocrity and average performance and average life, okay, from living the life of your dreams, from getting the things you truly want, from being who you want, having what you want, doing what you want, becoming the person you think you can become in life, and living your dreams, like he's saying, it really begins with the way you see yourself, how much you believe. Are you able to take the fear and the pain and the uncertainty and keep on going? Again, know that it's out there. Know that you can do it. Know that it'll all be worth it, right? And this faith and this belief changes everything, okay? But it's going to take an extraordinary amount of work, an extraordinary amount of courage, planning, sacrifice, all those things. And when it gets tough, just know, like you said, no matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. All right, I hope you enjoyed this one. Believe in yourself. I believe in you. And remember, this is your time. Go get yours. Let's go. I'll see you next time.